Do you wake up feeling anxious? Is the first hour of the day one of the worst for your anxiety levels? Do you feel your heart beating faster or feel physically sick? Do you immediately start rushing, worrying, frantically planning your day and trying to keep to your routine? Maybe you have to take the bus and it just feels like it's not going fast enough. This is not a good way for anyone to start the day, and some of my viewers have asked what they can do to stop this. If you watch other anxiety channels, they will talk about something called the cortisol awakening response, and it does play a part in your morning anxiety, but not as big a part as you might think. However, let's look at the cortisol awakening response because, while not the root cause of your anxiety, it is relevant. During 24 hours, your cortisol levels increase and decrease with your circadian rhythms. Circadian rhythms are just how your body prepares you for sleep, being awake in periods of activity. When you wake up, your cortisol levels increase, particularly in the first hour. This speeds up your heart and breathing a little to prepare you for the stresses of the day. So it makes sense if you suffer anxiety that you will feel more anxious in the morning. A lot of the anxiety gurus, nutritionists and life coaches will give you tips on how to reduce this cortisol awakening response. Tips like avoid caffeine, limit sugar, do exercise in the first 10 minutes after you wake up, meditate. Now these are all good things to do, and I have videos on exercise and how to meditate if you want to try that. But here is the problem I have with this approach. Firstly, I believe that any effect you can have on your cortisol levels is going to be small. And secondly, you would be doing these things to try and stop what your body is designed to do. And the reason most people's anxiety gets worse is because they are constantly trying to fight it, suppress it, or avoid it. If you watch my last video on how to stop the physical symptoms of anxiety, you will understand what I mean. There's a link above if you've missed it. So if you can't do much about the cortisol awakening response, what can you do about your morning anxiety? Well, first you have to understand why, if everyone experiences the cortisol awakening response, why doesn't everyone feel massively anxious in the morning? To help you understand why, I'm going to use an analogy. I can't imagine what the soldiers in the trenches of Ukraine must be going through. Every day they live with the uncertainty of whether they will see another. To deal with that uncertainty, they have to meticulously plan their guard duties and check that both they and their comrades are performing their duties to perfection, being hypervigilant, looking out for enemies attacking their trench, listening carefully for the sound of artillery. They may have noticed a pattern of when and where the enemy fires, so might develop a routine to minimize the chances of being killed, making sure that they are in the safest part of the trench at the most dangerous times, avoiding the most exposed parts of the trench. They might wear extra body armor, and they might seek reassurance from each other that they will survive this terrible war. Now ask yourself this: assuming these poor soldiers can actually get to sleep, how do you think they feel when they wake up into this dangerous world? They will wake up to a surge of adrenaline and cortisol, because that's exactly what they need to survive. In fact, studies show that increased cortisol levels actually make you cope better with stressful situations. Their minds are sharp, their reactions are quick, they are hypervigilant and ready for a fight if their trench is stormed. The cortisol awakening response could save their lives if they are attacked. But you might say, I'm not living in a trench or even a war zone, so why is my cortisol response so high? Let's have a look at the soldiers' behaviour and see if you recognise any in your own life. They were meticulously planning their duties. Do you meticulously plan your day? They and their comrades had to strive for perfection. Do you try to do everything perfectly or make sure everyone around you does everything perfectly? They are hypervigilant, always looking and listening for danger. Are you always looking for danger? Maybe you're always examining yourself for dangerous diseases or health conditions. They developed strict routines. Do you find you have to stick strictly to routines? They sought reassurance from each other. Do you seek reassurance that you don't have some illness or the boss is not going to fire you? They avoid the most exposed parts of the trench. Do you avoid places where you fear a panic attack happening? Or maybe you avoid a colleague or neighbour that you fear a confrontation with. Or maybe you avoid a task that you are not confident of doing. The soldiers protect themselves with extra armour. Do you have a loved one that feels like your armour? Someone you always turn to when you feel anxious or panicky? You may not recognise all of these behaviours, but I bet you recognise at least some of them, or can think of similar things that you do. All these behaviours are telling your brain that every day is dangerous, so it had better tell your body to start pumping out lots of cortisol as soon as you wake up, and that is why you feel a surge in anxiety in the morning. So I'm not saying don't exercise, meditate or eat healthy in the morning, but what I am saying is that changing your behaviours to tell your brain that your world is not dangerous will make a much bigger difference to your morning anxiety in the long term than any of these short-term actions. But changing behaviours is very hard to do because they're driven by your beliefs. But I'm currently working on a video to show you how to change the beliefs that drive your anxiety-fueling behaviours. And I'm going to focus particularly on generalised anxiety disorder, as I realise that is an anxiety disorder that a lot of you suffer from, and I've only made a few videos on. So make sure you've subscribed and click on the notification bell. Take care now.